It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday to you, wherever you may be on this Memorial Day. The Colorado Rockies arrive with former Dodger manager Jim Tracy in tow, and they've beaten the Dodgers twice in early April in Colorado. In Game 1 of the 3-game series, the Dodgers will send Chad Billingsley to the mound. He's 3-4. However, he has pitched exceptionally well at Dodger Stadium, but the Dodgers have scored only 5 runs for him this year, so at home he's 1-2. On the mound for the Rockies, it'll be Jason Hamels. He beat the Dodgers earlier this year. His record, like Billingsley, is 3-4. And for Jason Hamel, he is 1-0 against the Dodgers this year and 2-1 lifetime. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
At San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino and receive a special birthday package. Visit sanmanuel.com for details. You must be 21 to enter the casino. Get you set for Dodger baseball, taking on the Colorado Rockies here on Prime Ticket. Dodgers coming off a series victory against the Marlins where they had 17 hits, and Clayton Kershaw was so special. But with Steve Lyons, sometimes, Steve, it's the next start that is the most important one, and it's our Hyundai keys to the game. It's up to Chad Billingsley versus Hamel.
Yeah, you got to get something going on a more consistent basis when you're talking about your starting pitching. So far this year, we've talked about lack of offense, but the pitchers need to be more consistent as well. You look at Billingsley's numbers. We talked about his numbers after a Kershaw start or after a Kershaw loss, and they have not been good. And the overall numbers aren't great. Billingsley needs to establish himself. Lilly wins one and then loses one, wins one, loses one. Kuroda was very consistent. Now he started to slide. Same thing with Garland. If our starting pitching right now can just put a modest 2-game winning streak together times 5, what does that give you?
That's 10.
10 games in a row. I think they can do it.
All right, sounds good. Hey, you know what? The sun and the shadow might be an impact with this 5 o'clock start.
Yeah, well, the sun's been in my face all day long, so I think they can handle it.
I wore sunscreen, so I was prepared. All right, so Chad Billingsley is ready for this game tonight. Again, everybody fired up. First pitch coming up in a minute. Vin's got the call.
Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. By 76 Gasoline, we're on the driver's side. By CarMax, now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday this Memorial Day, wherever you may be. It is a gorgeous day here in Southern California as the Dodgers open up a 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Last year, the Dodgers managed to win 5 of 9 here at Dodger Stadium against Colorado. Under the blue skies, a warm breeze, bright sunshine, the Dodgers and the Rockies opening up. And for Colorado, they come in 3.5 games behind Arizona in 3rd place. This was a ball club that began the year going 11-2. However, they have fallen upon lean times of late. They are 8-19 in the month of May. They have struggled at home. In fact, on the road, they have really had their problems. They've lost 9 of the last 11. So Jim Tracy's card reads this way: Eric Young at second base, Dexter Fowler in center, Carlos Gonzalez in left, Troy Tulowitzki at short, Todd Helton at first, Seth Smith in right field, Ty Wigginton is at third, Chris Iannetta behind the plate, and Jason Hamill on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Chad Billingsley. Billingsley is 3-4 with the league. He has pitched brilliantly at home. His earned run average at home, believe it or not, is 1.8. And yet, he has just won 1 and lost 2 because the Dodgers have scored a total of 5 runs for him in the games he's pitched here. Against the Rockies, they beat him early in April. He is 2-5 lifetime. So it's Colorado and the Dodgers. And, of course, for Jim Tracy, a former Dodger manager who comes back to Dodger Stadium, Jim on Sunday celebrated his second anniversary as the manager of the Colorado Rockies. And one other thing, as you look at the Dodgers, and you'll also notice it with Colorado when they're defensively, they are wearing caps of red and white in honor of this Memorial Day. In fact, if the caps were the way they are with the white and blue, it would look like the old Montreal Expos. Billingsley's first pitch in for a strike to Eric Young, and the count 0-1. EY up and down from Colorado Springs, hitting .357 since being called back. Of course, his dad played here and played well. Strike one pitch on the way is swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. On this gorgeous day, the temperature at 11 minutes after 5, 75 degrees. So Billingsley, with spider work of shadows just to the left of the mound, comes back, and Young swings and strikes out. So one away, and Dexter Fowler coming up. Here are the Dodgers with the leather. Gibbons, Kemp, and Deepier in the outfield. Miles for Call, Carroll, and Loney on the infield. And the battery of Barajas handling Billingsley. Dexter Fowler checking in at 242. A daddy long legs of a center fielder. Does not have a home run. He does have 18 runs batted in. So Fowler, a switch hitter, batting left-handed, takes the first pitch low. 1 ball and no strikes. Dexter, should he get aboard, has had problems. He has stolen 2 bases, but he's been caught 6 times. Billingsley very slow and deliberate, delivers, and it's beaten foul into the dirt, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So Chad Billingsley, who has pitched so well, his earned run average, as we said, 1.8. The opposition is hitting 164 against him at home. Chad ready, and the 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on, little ground ball to the right side. Up with it there is Jamie Carroll. So that'll do it for Fowler. And we have 2 down in the first inning, and Carlos Gonzalez coming up. Cargo, as they call him, has a 9-game hitting streak, but he has been a puzzlement, as the King said from The King and I. He's hitting .291 at home, but .214 on the road. Hitting .257 with 8 home runs and 33 runs batted in. Last year, he led the league at .336, so he's really off his feed. Billingsley ready, and the first pitch is low, ball 1, 1-0. Gonzalez 2 for 6 against Billingsley in the past. So the multi-talented left fielder who sometimes plays right. The 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on, and there's a hopper into center despite a broken bat. Though he's strong enough to muscle one into center field with half a bat, really. And a 2-out single will bring up Troy Tulowitzki. The Gonzalez lets it fly, both the bat and the ball. And as he's stuck with a swizzle stick in his hands, he gets the single to center. Now here's Troy Tulowitzki, and he's another question. How in the world fine hitters like Gonzalez and Tulowitzki can struggle as much as they have? Troy hitting .246. He has 11 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Right hand hitting shortstop and a dandy. Out of his stretch is Billingsley. Comes with a big overhand curveball in for a strike, and the count 0-1. We can tell you the Giants knocked off the Cardinals today 7-3. Andres Torres had a grand slam home run. Madison Bumgarner won his second game. So 7-3, the Giants beat the Cardinals. The next one is in there for a strike, and the count 0-2. Florida and Arizona not quite ready to get underway. Almost. Arizona, remember, began the day a half a game ahead of the Giants, so for the moment they're tied. 0-2 the count to Troy Tulowitzki. Billingsley out of his stretch, looks over his left shoulder, now comes to the plate, low and inside, ball 1. 1-2 the count. Dodgers, as you know, have really been crippled by injuries. And of course, as Don Mattingly has had all of his problems with so many players on the DL, Jim Tracy has had a couple of problems, including two important ones from his pitching staff. The 1-2, Gonzalez goes, a one-hopper throw down there, not in time. So Gonzalez beats the one-hop throw to second base, despite the good gutsy play by Carroll to get right into it to handle the throw. He had to make a slap tag, and the left hand of Gonzalez was on the bag before the tag. So 2-2 the count to Tulowitzki as Cargo steals his third base. So Gonzalez at second with 2 out, 2-2 the count. Tulowitzki trying to pick him up, and then Todd Hilton, the left-hand hitter, on deck. The 2-2 pitch, fastball line to center for a base hit. Charging is Kemp, makes a strong throw to the plate. He is out at the plate. Great combination from Matt Kemp in center, hitting his target, Rod Barajas, and Carlos Gonzalez is erased at the plate. Marvelous big league play. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. Rockies fail to score. Barajas, Kemp throwing a strike, Barajas making the tag, and we go to the bottom of the first, no score. For the Dodgers, it'll be Rafael Furcal, then Jamie Carroll at second, followed by Ethier and Kemp, Jay Gibbons in left, followed by James Loney and Rod Barajas, Aaron Miles at third, Chad Billingsley on the mound. On the mound for Colorado, it will be Jason Hamill, and the big right-hander's first pitch is high, ball 1, 1-0. Hamill comes in with a record of 3-4. He beat the Dodgers earlier this year, and he's 2-1 lifetime. He gets a strike to balance his books, so a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Rafael Furcal, coming off a big game yesterday, including a home run. And Rafael lines it to left field, coming up in a hurry, and a diving catch by Carlos Gonzalez. So Furcal losing a base hit as Gonzalez makes the play. Right down at a shoestring almost by the time he got to it. So with 1 away, the batter will be Jamie Carroll. So we've only had 5 batters, and we've had 2 fine defensive plays. The throw by Kemp, and now this play by Gonzalez out there in left, who won his first Gold Glove last year. Jamie Carroll checking in, hitting .293. 4 runs batted in, and he takes a little high, ball 1, 1-0. So Jamie trying to get something started with Andre Ethier on deck. Hamill ready. The 1-0 pitch, and that's on the outside corner for a strike. Hamill is a big fella. He is 6'6", standing on top of that 10-inch mound, 220-pounder. He was 10-9 with the Rockies last year. The 1-1 pitch, big chopper to the right side, gloved there by E.Y., who makes a bad throw. He pulls Helton off the bag, and Carroll is safely aboard. So Eric Young throws too high. He was said had plenty of time and just released it way too high. So he will draw an error, and that'll bring up Andre Ethier. Andre Ethier hitting .326, and we'll see now what the Dodgers can do because of the error. Ethier against Jason Hamill, 5 for 16 and a home run. That's a .313 batting average. He's also walked a bunch of times, 7 against Hamill. So Jason, who couldn't make his high school's varsity team until he was a senior, makes his first pitch low, ball 1. He's out of Greenville, South Carolina, now lives up at Port Orchard in Washington. Originally a 10th round pick by the Devil Rays. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Hamill again set, looks over his left shoulder at Carroll. Back to Ethier, who sprays it foul off to the left, out of play. Today is Memorial Day, as you know, and we're not trying to tell you how smart we are. We just thought it was such an important day that we would do a little research and pass along, not so much for the adults, but certainly for the youngsters who think maybe Memorial Day is just a day off for dad, no school, and hot dogs and barbecues. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ethier, a little pop fly. Tulowitzki will make the catch for the out. So 2 down, and Matt Kemp will be coming up. So during the course of, let's say, the first 5 innings, we'll drop in just 1 or 2 little things about why this is such an important day. Matt Campbell just made that great throw to the plate coming up. 2 out, first inning, no score. First of all, you have to remember Memorial Day originally was called Decoration Day, a day of remembrance for those who died in our nation's service. Matt waiting, Hamill ready, here he comes, off speed for a strike, 0-1. There are many stories about the actual beginnings of this day. However, going way back, there were organized women's groups in the South who were decorating graves before the end of the Civil War, which is where the idea of Decoration Day first started. Here's the strike 1 pitch to Matt Kemp. Swung on, line drive right at Eric Young, and that'll be that. So no runs, no hits, an error, and a man left. And at the end of an inning, no score. 11 pitches to retire the Dodgers. And in the second inning, it'll be Todd Helton, Seth Smith, and Ty Wigginton. The veteran Todd Helton, and he is a veteran. He'll be 38 years old in August, and the left-hand hitter takes low, ball one. Helton is batting .303, 6 home runs, 22 runs batted in, and getting very close with doubles to pass a couple of big Hall of Fame names. Bangs one into the gap in right center for a base hit. Epier comes up with it, and Todd holds with a long single. So that means the last 3 batters have had base hits against Billingsley, but the Dodgers had that out at the plate. Now Seth Smith coming up. Seth Smith has been sidelined for a while. Unfortunately for him, having to spend a little extra time in the trainer's room, but he is healthy enough to play. The big boy out of Mississippi, went to school at the university, 6'3", 225. Considering his plate appearances, he has number 1 as he takes high in the percentage of extra base hits to at-bats. Seth has 15 doubles, 2 triples, and 5 home runs. So he's at 22 extra base hits, and he's checking in, hitting .303. Billingsley trying to get an out, comes back, and that's going to be hit over the head of Call and dropped for a base hit into left field. So that's 4 consecutive hits against Billingsley, and the batter will be Ty Wigginton.
Batting next, third baseman.
2 on, nobody out, no score. And the veteran Wigginton checking in. So Billingsley trying to collect himself a little bit. Wigginton is 0 for 2 in the past, going up against Billingsley. Ty from San Diego, lives in North Carolina, and the first pitch of the right-hand hitter in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Ty was a 17th round pick by the Mets out of the University of North Carolina, Asheville, back in 1998. But he was raised in San Diego, and his dad used to take him to a lot of Padres games. The strike 1 pitch he takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 of his favorite players, Pete Rose and Don Mattingly. So Wigginton with 2 on, Helton at second, Smith at first, nobody out, no score, second inning. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley, and the 1-1 pitch, check swing foul off to the right, rolling over to the Colorado dugout. 1-2 the count to Ty Wigginton. He went to Chula Vista High School. He's an even 6, 205-pounder who played both football and baseball. 1-2 the count to Wigginton, who came up with the Mets and has bounced around after 2.5 years in New York. Ty takes low, and that evens the count, 2-2. Came up with the Mets, then he went to Pittsburgh, then Tampa Bay, then Houston, then Baltimore, and now here he is, first year with the Rockies. Two and two the count to Ty Wigginton. Out of a stretch goes Billingsley, in a little trouble here. And the pitch, Wigginton takes high, ball 3. Well, we look at Wigginton's numbers, and Ty Wigginton has struck out about 26 times and only walked 6. Trying to figure out about whether they would run them with the number 8 hitter Iannetta on deck. Runners take their leads. The runners do not go, and it is strike 3 call as Wigginton was walking towards first base. So Wigginton takes strike 3, 1 out, and the batter will be Chris Iannetta. So Wigginton got the sad news. He had already passed the left-hand hitter's box and was walking up the line. No argument on his part. So now here's Iannetta, the big catcher from Providence. Had a big game a few days ago in St. Louis. 4 hits, including 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. He checks on the first pitch. No swing, ball 1. Iannetta batting .246 with 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Right-hand hitting catcher, has always been a marvelous catcher, has struggled a great deal like so many others, getting his share of base hits, way out in front of a breaking ball in the count 1-1. Chris, 6-footer, 220, out of Rhode Island, went to the University of North Carolina. 4th round pick 7 years ago by Colorado. 1 ball and 1 strike with Helton and Smith out on the lines, and the 1-1 pitch is taken on the inside corner for a strike, and the count 1-2. So Chris Iannetta first came up 5 years ago with Colorado. He's made 4 different trips to Colorado Springs, and each time comes back. 1-2 the count. Billingsley, very deliberate, comes to his hitter, and it is swung on and missed. And so down goes Wigginton and Iannetta. And after leading off with singles, 2 down, breaking ball takes care of Iannetta, and Jason Hamill coming up. Hamill has 3 hits. 1 of the 3 hits a home run. He has 3 runs batted in. He's a very good bunter, but of course there's 2 out. So Hamill waits. Billingsley trying to work his way out of a jam. Chad out of his stretch, looks back at second, works his hitter for a strike, and the count 0-1. The Dodgers coming off a big win yesterday with 8 runs and 17 hits. And the Rockies coming off a big game Saturday when they beat the Cardinals 15-4. Now the strike 1 pitch, and that's just inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jason Hamill. Looks strange to see those caps, especially the Dodger cap with the white front, but the blue bill and the blue back half. That really looks like the old Montreal cap. The next pitch swung on and missed, 1-2. So here's Billingsley with 2 out in the first inning. He gave up 2 singles and a stolen base, but Matt Kemp threw Carlos Gonzalez out at the plate. In the second inning, he gives up singles to Helton and Smith, turns right around to strike out Wigginton, strike out Iannetta, and the next pitch is up and away, ball 2 to Jason Hamill. Chad 0-1 this year against Colorado. The Rockies are 2 games under 500 at home. They are exactly break even, 12-12 on the road. Now the 2-2 pitch. Billingsley delivers, and that's fouled away off to the right and out of play. We talked before, you know about all of the Dodger injuries and the disabled list. For Jim Tracy, he lost Jorge De La Rosa, a tower of strength for him. He went out with a torn ligament in his elbow, and De La Rosa is out for the year. Aaron Cook broke the ring finger on his right hand, but he's getting close to returning after pitching rehab. 2-2 pitch, and Hamill swings and misses, so Billingsley winds up striking out the side. No run, 2 hits, 2 left, and at the end of an inning and a half, no score. harder after giving up those 2 hits. So he made 20 pitches in the second inning, but got out of it unscathed, and Jay Gibbons leads off and takes a strike. The left-hand hitting Gibbons had 3 hits yesterday, 2 singles to right and a base hit to left. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Line foul down the left field line, carries deep in the lower deck. So quickly 0-2 the count to Jay Gibbons. Gibbons, who reached base safely in all 6 games on the Dodgers' recent road trip, has perked up a bit with the bat. Grounds one outside of first base and down the line. So the count stays 0-2. Interesting that Gibbons, a left-hand batter, and usually only plays against right-handers, but he's hitting .444 against left-handers and in the 180s against right-handers. Pitch low. So nothing about this game is more than a puzzle than a case like that, where he does just what you don't expect. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Gibbons, and that's high and away. 2-2 the count to Jay. Jason Hamill, among other things, must have a pretty good sinker. He's had 8 double plays turned in behind him. And the 2-2 pitch, Gibbons swings and fouls it back. So Jay Hamill, who's had 2 games lost by the bullpen that he might otherwise have won, and therefore he would be above 500, comes right back 2-2, and that's foul to the screen. All 3 outs in the first inning were balls hit in the air. The only ground ball was thrown away by Eric Young. But usually he gets more ground balls than fly balls. Hamill nods yes, and his 2-2 pitch on the way, breaking ball, pulled foul. His fastball has been clocked anywhere from 91 to 95. He has a 2-seamer for a sinker. He has that 12-6 curveball, and they rate his slider as fair and his changeup as decent. And the next one is swung on and fouled away. So the count remains 2-2 to Jay Gibbons. Well, we're talking about we will drop little notes in every now and then, not going to get in the way of the game on this day which demands deep respect from all of us. The 2-2 pitch is a check swing, bum check. The out will be recorded at first, the pitch in the dirt. So Gibbons strikes out, 1 away, and the batter will be James Loney.
Number 7, James
We told you about the organized women's groups decorating graves before the end of the Civil War. And the actual origin is pretty shaky, but President Lyndon Johnson in May of 1966 declared that Waterloo, New York was officially declared the birthplace of Memorial Day. The first pitch to Loney, he takes low, ball 1, 1-0. We have many, and we are honored to have them here. Representatives from all the service taking in the ball game. The 1-0 pitch on the way, foul back to the screen, 1-1 the count. We owe so much to so many. It would be almost criminal to just walk away from this day concentrating on a baseball game. So we'll just try and drop a few little reminders about the day. The 1-1 pitch is inside under Loney's hands. 2-1 the count. The lights are on because the shadows have already taken a bite out of the sunlit field. The 2-1 pitch on the way to Loney, swung on, fouled over the visiting dugout, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. James Loney hitting .238 with 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Jason Hamill, both feet on the rubber, comes back 2-2, and that's grounded foul outside of first. Dodgers might be fortunate that on May the 30th, Jason Hamill is pitching and not Wednesday, June 1. Or Wednesday's June 1st, right. His career record in June is 9-1. That's his finest month in his career. The month of June. 2-2 pitch on the way is foul ball again. His record 5-6 in April, 4-7 in May, 1-7 in July, but June 9-1. Talk about June is busting out all over for Jason Hamill. 2-2 the count. Hamill in a scoreless battle here in the second inning, and Loney fouls yet another one. So James hacking him away, making the pitcher work. Hamill has now made 28 pitches. That would make it 17 pitches just here in the second inning. No score. Jason Hamill ready, delivers, and it's going to be hit into left field, a base hit. So after all those foul balls, Loney is able to straighten one out, go the other way, and single to left.
For the Dodgers, catcher number 28, Rod Barajas.
For James Loney checking in against Jason Hamill. He was hitting .250 with 2 home runs against him. So here now is Rod Barajas. Barajas 3 for 8 with a home run against Jason Hamill. One thing the Dodgers have done, they have certainly made Hamill work in the inning. Jay Gibbons fouled off 6 pitches. Loney fouled off 5. So 11 of the pitches in the inning have been foul balls. 11 of the 17. So the right-hander ready and works to Barajas, and the pitch is low, ball 1. Well, we told you that Hamill gets a lot of double plays. He has 8. With Barajas up there, Rod, basically a fly ball hitter anyway, has only grounded into 1 double play. No score, second inning. Hitting 8th in the lineup, the switch hitter Aaron Miles on deck. Loney off the bag at first. Hamill set, checks, ready, and comes to the plate and gets it in there for a strike. All of the home plate area, a slice of the infield at third base in shade. Most of left field is in shade. And then, of course, it will change as the innings go along. Light towers already casting little checkerboard squares of sunlight and shade. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rod Barajas. Hamill at the belt. Right-hander delivers, swung on and missed. Big long swing by Barajas. 1-2 the count. No runs, 4 hits for the Rockies. No runs, 1 hit for the Dodgers. Big play so far in the game. Matt Kemp fielded a base hit by Troy Tulowitzki and threw Carlos Gonzalez out at the plate. And it was also a nice tag by Rod Barajas. So 1-2 the count. Hamill at the belt, delivers, popped in the air, foul, and no chance. Coming over to take a look is Ionetta, but it's back in a good 10 rows. So still 1-2 the count. As far as the pitching for this series, today a 5 o'clock game, then the regular time starting tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Clayton Mortensen, a right-hander, against Ted Lilly. And then the big question mark in Colorado, and that will be Wednesday, Ubaldo Jimenez against John Garland. 1-2 the count. Jason Hamill set, looks over at Loney. Now comes back to Barajas, who grounds it foul outside of third, and it's still 1-2. Jason Hamill working on Barajas. 1 away, second inning, no score. Barajas in and out of the box. Now Rod hooks up again. Hamill turns, looks over to see where Loney is. He has a very short lead. And the pitch to Barajas fouled away. So if nothing else, Dodgers fouling him every which way against Jason Hamill. Hamill has improved from this year off last year. Last year with men on base, the opposition hit over 300 against him. This year they're hitting about 230. 1-2 the count. Hamill again turns, keeps an eye on Loney. Barajas waiting, and Jason delivers. Swung on, popped up in foul ground. Todd Helton is there waiting and makes the catch. So Barajas pops it up, and with 2 down, Aaron Miles coming up. A reminder, every weekday afternoon game, the Dodgers offer half-price food and soft drinks. Plus, you can watch the Dodgers in throwback Brooklyn-era uniforms. The next half-price day, Wednesday, June the 15th at 12:10. To secure your tickets, call 866-DODGERS or visit Dodgers.com/throwback. 2 down, Loney at first base, and here's Aaron Miles hitting .275. Miles is 0 for 1 against Hamill, batting left-handed, and Aaron takes high, ball 1. 1-0. No scores, second inning. Giants won. They knocked off the Cardinals 7-3. They had a grand slam from Andres Torres. Loney held on by Helton, but he's only off the bag by about 3 or 4 feet. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Aaron Miles, and the left-hand hitter fouls it away off third out of play. The outfield plays in that way. They are shaded to left, but Aaron without a home run, so the left fielder, Carlos Gonzalez, shortens up. So does Fowler, shading a little in left center. So Seth Smith has all of right and right center to cover. 1-1 the count to Aaron Miles. On deck, Chad Billingsley, and the 1-1 pitch. Miles pops it up into shallow left center. Fowler is right there. Dexter makes the catch, and that's that. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. And at the end of 2, no score. Dodgers and Rockies meeting for only the 3rd time of the 18 scheduled on a glorious day. 75 degrees when the game started. A canopy of blue without a cloud overhead. The only problem might be shade and sunlight, as Eric Young will start it off in the 3rd inning. EY struck out in the 1st inning. Chad Billingsley bends a big curveball low. 1 ball and no strikes. A light breeze blowing out towards right field. Nothing like what we had yesterday. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's low and inside, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Eric Young. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Billingsley's 2-0 pitch. He looks it right into Barajas' mitt, and it's a strike. And the count 2-1. Well, that's the first thing they try to teach a young hitter. Follow that pitch all the way. Now the 2-1 pitch. Young holds up and is high. Ball 3. Billingsley got out of a rough patch. Back-to-back hits in the first inning, but the out at the plate. Back-to-back hits in the second inning, and he struck out the side. Young promptly hits one to left center. It is going to fall in front of Matt Kemp. So Eric Young, who has a stolen base, is now at first. And for the Rockies, they have 5 hits and nothing to show for it. Chad Billingsley has a tough act to follow. Clayton Kershaw, absolutely brilliant yesterday. A 2-hit shutout, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, his second career shutout, and for good matter, 2 hits and a run batted in added to it. It was Kershaw's day indeed. Right now, he'll just sit and talk to Casey Blake. And at the plate, Dexter Fowler. Billingsley ready and deals. Fowler shows bunt. Ball 1. By the way, the Rockies, who live in home run territory in the Mile High city of Denver, also are number 1 in the league in bunts. They have 10 bunt singles. So you have to look for it, and Miles plays on the edge of the grass at third. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Dexter Fowler. Billingsley ready. There goes Young. The pitch is low. Barajas double checked. He must have had trouble gripping the ball and throws late. And actually, that was a better throw, but it took a split second more to get it there. Yep, it almost came out of his hand, and then he reached second on the fly. Usually he bounces down there, but this time EY gets away with it and steals second. So with a runner at second, nobody out, 1-1 the count to Fowler, with Gonzalez and Tulowitzki to follow. Billingsley, very deliberate, looks back at Young. Fowler shows bunt, pops it foul over the backstop screen. So it shows you the pressure of not scoring, and that's been the problem for both teams involved today. Fowler against Billingsley, 1 for 8 anyway, though he tries to bunt Young over to third. The other thing about Fowler, he runs very well. Left-hand batter, he's grounded into only 1 double play. 1-2 the count. Figure 2 strikes removes the bunt, and instead he looks at strike 3 call. So a bad at bat for Dexter Fowler, unable to advance the runner. And with 1 out, a runner at second, and the batter will be Carlos Gonzalez. Gonzalez, with a base hit in the first inning, has hit safely in 10 straight as Fowler puts his helmet and bat gently away. And here is Cargo, hitting .261, 8 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Left-hand hitter, he can do it all with Tulowitzki on deck. Billingsley ready and delivers, and the first pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Gonzalez, with a base hit in the first inning, is 3 for 7 against Billingsley. Runner at second, 1 out, third inning, no score. Now the strike 1 pitch on the way. Fastball pulled on the ground to Loney. He'll take it to the bag, and over to third goes Eric Young. So with 2 out, Young at third, the batter is Troy Tulowitzki. He singled in the first inning. Tulowitzki is 8 for 26, close to 300, going up against Chad Billingsley. The Twin Towers of Colorado. Trend would be Troy Tulowitzki certainly, and Carlos Gonzalez. On their broad shoulders, the Rockies are building and building and hoping. So here's Tulo. Big right-hand batter waiting, and he looks at the first pitch in for a strike. Tulowitzki is 6'3", 210. He has a very, very good strikeout to walk ratio. Tulo came to the big leagues after 14 months in the minor leagues. That's all. Trying to pick up Young from third. Billingsley ready and delivers. High chopper to the right side. Carroll gloves, throws, and gets him. And so Billingsley dodges another. The Rockies leave a man at third. And at the end of 2.5 innings, no score. Followed by Rafael Furcal and Jamie Carroll. Billingsley, pretty good hitting pitcher, batting .222. He has 4 hits, including 2 doubles, and Hamill's pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. This Memorial Day, we've told you about the women during the Civil War decorating the graves. Billingsley takes high. We told you that President Lyndon Johnson proclaimed Waterloo, New York, as the birthplace of Memorial Day. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swung on, fouled away, 1-2. But at first called Decoration Day, Memorial Day was officially proclaimed the 5th of May, 1868, by a general of the Union Army. Here's the 1-2 pitch, low. The general, John Logan. He was the national commander of the Grand Army of the Republic. And Memorial Day was first observed on the 30th of May, 1868. Billingsley drives one down the right field line, slicing as she goes foul. The Chad almost got there, but it peeled off foul, and the count 2-2. There was quite a bit of feeling about the fact that the country picked the Monday after the weekend to make it a long weekend off. And a lot of people feel, no, that's not right. It should be all by itself on the 30th of May. Billingsley now bangs one into right field for a base hit. So Chad Billingsley following Clayton Kershaw, who had 2 hits yesterday, and there's his cheerleader, Clayton Kershaw, in the dugout. So Billingsley standing at first. And the batter now will be Rafael Furcal. Furcal slapped the ball pretty hard. A line drive to left field caught by Carlos Gonzalez on a nice sliding catch. So Rafael 0 for 1, hitting .190 with a home run, 5 runs batted in, and he takes off the plate. Ball 1. Jamie Carroll on deck. Well, in the second inning, Jason Hamill made 28 pitches. 15 of them were foul balls. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Hamill said, Jason delivers, fastball grounded through into right field, almost hit Billingsley. He just did jump over that. He stops at second. Almost hit by the batted ball, but Billingsley is just able to skip rope, and up and over he goes. So back-to-back singles, and the Dodgers are in business. First and second, nobody out. Carroll the batter. Carroll this year has sacrificed twice. So if you're Mattingly, do you have Carroll lay it down and then hope that Ethier and Kemp can be productive? Carroll against Hamill came into the game 3 for 5, though he's 3 for 6, having reached on the error. Well, the Rockies feel he will bunt. They pull up the corners, and Jamie waiting. Hamill out of a stretch. Carroll not showing. Now he does. Looks at a pitch, and it is low. Ball 1 and 0. Florida jumping out in front of Arizona 2-0 in the third inning. Gabby Sanchez and Mike Stanton driven in runs against Joe Saunders in Arizona. 1 ball and no strikes. Out of a stretch goes Hamill. Dodgers at first and second. No score. The bunt is down and foul, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So Jamie asked to move him up a notch. Troy Tulowitzki comes in from shortstop to talk to the big pitcher. All right, Tulowitzki finally goes back to his position. Wigginton in on the grass at third. Helton is up in front of the runner for call, and a 1-1 count to Jamie Carroll. Out of a stretch goes Hamill. Jason ready and deals. The bunt is up along third and goes foul, and the count 1-2. So Jamie will come back and try it again. As we mentioned, he has 2 sacrifices. Now, if you're Don Mattingly, would you try it again? Would you let Carroll swing away against a guy who has had 8 double plays behind him? Jamie Carroll has grounded into 1. So all of those goes through the computer in the manager's mind, and we'll see what happens now. 1-2 the count to Jamie Carroll, who has struck out 25 times, and for a guy without a home run, that's a lot. 1-2 to Jamie, in and out of the box. Billingsley opened up with a single. Rafael Furcal singled him to second. Carroll tried to bunt and couldn't, and let's see what he does 1-2. Hamill at the belt, checks ready. Carroll looks, and it's in the dirt. Nice block by Iannetta, and a 2-2 count. For Colorado, they started the game 3.5 behind Arizona and 2 games under 500. But had they not started off 11-2, which is very much unlike Colorado's history, they'd be in a lot worse shape. Hamill at the belt, 2-2. The big pitch now coming to Jamie Carroll. Swung on, little squibbler. That's worth the bunt and then some. It's going to wind up being an infield single. A full swinging bunt, as they used to call it. And Carroll hit it about 45 feet. And Wigginton never really had a play. So the Dodgers get a little lucky now. And they have the bases loaded. Nobody out. And Ethier, Kemp, and Gibbons coming up. Now, Jay West, let's see. Joe West is calling the umpires in. He wants to check, I think, on Jamie Carroll. Let's see. Well, Joe West is looking for direction from any of the other 3. Did they see something that he might have missed? And now Joe is going back behind the plate. And apparently we'll just move along. Bases loaded, nobody out for the Dodgers in the third inning, with Ethier, Kemp, and Gibbons coming up. And Hamill in a lot of trouble. Ethier popped up in the first inning. Andre is 0 for 1. but he came in hitting .313 against right-hander Jason Hamill. Hamill checks, ready, comes to the plate, and it's in at the knees for a strike, and the count 0-1. So Billingsley single to right, COL single to right. Carroll swings as hard as he can. It looked like it came out of the end of a hose, and it dribbled about 45 feet up along third for a base hit to load the bases. Now the strike one pitch on the way. Hamill deals, fastball low. 1-1 the count. So the Dodgers certainly have their strong suit up there. Ethier hitting a cool .385 against right-handers coming into the game. Standing room only, and Hamill out of a stretch. Infield back in double play depth. 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled off, and the count 1-2. Trying to cover all of the possibilities, we can tell you that Ethier has grounded into 4 double plays. The fellow who tops him, who has hit in the most double plays, is on deck. Matt Kemp has grounded into 7. Dodgers so far this year are hitting .122. That's right, .122 with the bases loaded. Hamill very deliberate, trying to work his way out of it. Right-hander ready. Here he comes, and he drops it just outside. 2-2 the count. So Jason Hamill up to his hips in trouble here. Looks in to get a sign from Chris Iannetta. The outfield on Ethier deep and fanned out straight away. Billingsley down the line from third. COL away from second. Carroll at first. 2-2 the count. That little dribbler by Carroll is huge, of course. Light breeze blowing out to right field. Hamill a long look into Iannetta. Now he's ready. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming up, and Andre swings, ground ball, foul. Foul ball down the line. They'll let me go back and try it again. So Billingsley returns to third. COL will go back to second. Carroll goes to first. The Dodgers trying to get well the next couple of days against a Western Division team. The Dodgers are 8-12 within the division. They're also 2 games under .500 at home. So this is their chance and a big opportunity in this game. 2-2 pitch to Ethier, swung on, and that's hit foul off third out of play. Carrying in the second deck and then dribbles down below. 2-2 with Matt Kemp on deck. Last year, the Dodgers managed to win 5 of 9 at Dodger Stadium against the Rockies. Andre waiting. Quite a battle here with Hamill. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming up, and it is taken low. Ball 3. Interesting, Jason Hamill is not getting the hitters to swing and miss, and that's piling up his pitch count. There have been only 2 swings and misses. There have been 23 foul balls. So the bases loaded, nobody out. Waiting Ethier, and a 3-2 count. Hamill ready. Here's the pitch. Comebacker that got away right under the glove of Hamill into center field. 2 runs will score, and rounding third and holding on is Jamie Carroll. That would have been a perfect double play ball, and Hamill had to get under his glove, and he is fit to be tied. And the Dodgers lead 2-0. So the Dodgers very fortunate in the inning. First of all, Hamill misses a double play ball, and of course Jamie Carroll couldn't bunt and had a 45-foot single. So for the moment, everything is going the Dodgers' way, and immediately Bob Apodaca is going out, trying to calm down an angry pitcher, angry at himself. So Ethier stands at first. Instead of a double play that might very well have started at the plate, he winds up with a base hit and 2 runs batted in. And Rafael Furcal, along with Chad Billingsley, brought him over. And standing at third is Jamie Carroll. So Billingsley out in front thanks to some good fortune. And it is 2-0 in favor of the Dodgers, who have 5 hits and the 2 runs against Hamill. Nobody out. Runners at first and third. And the batter is Matt Kemp. Kemp lined out in the first inning. He has 12 home runs. Interestingly enough, 8 of his 12 home runs come in his first at-bat. His first at-bat today, lined out. So Matt waiting, runners at the corner, still nobody out, and a ground foul into the Dodger dugout, and the count 0-1. Matt's already made a sizable contribution in the first inning with 2 out and Carlos Gonzalez at second base. Troy Tulowitzki singled to center, and a great throw by Matt Kemp nailed Gonzalez, and a good tag at the end of it by Rod Barajas. 0-1 the count to Matt, and he fouls it the other way. 0-2. Dodgers lead 2-0 here in the third inning. Rockies will be here tomorrow night, and then Wednesday night. Then the Dodgers will go back out on the road. They'll go to Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and then they have 4 more with the Rockies in Denver. 0-2 the count to Matt Kemp. Jay Gibbons on deck. Hamill out of a stretch. Jason delivers, swung on, and a drive into left center field. Coming over is Dexter Fowler along with Gonzalez. And Gonzalez and Fowler get together, and Fowler drops it. Scoring on the fly ball because it was dropped is Jamie Carroll, who had tagged up, and moving into second base when Andre Ethier, who was then called out. So Ethier is out. Fowler dropping the fly ball, and Gonzalez coming over trying to help, so there was confusion who was going to take it. Fowler reached up, and in double checking, the ball went off Gonzalez's glove. They were glove to glove out there, so it will be an error charge to Carlos Gonzalez, and the force play is 8-4 from Dexter Fowler to Eric Young. So the Dodgers are extremely fortunate here in the inning, and they now lead 3-0, and the batter is Jay Gibbons with only 1 out. So either Gonzalez or Fowler could have caught it. The big thing, no doubt the run would have scored anyway, I think. Turns out to be the pickup by Fowler and the force play at second. So the force play is 8-4. No error charge. They did get the force, and I really believe the run would have scored anyway. Pitch to Gibbons off the plate, ball 1. So the Dodgers lead 3-0. Matt Kemp at first base, and Jay Gibbons, who struck out at the plate. So the Dodgers had 4 consecutive singles, a muff fly ball that turns into a force play, and they're leading 3-0. Throw to first base. Kemp dives back on the bag. Matt Kemp, by the way, has stolen 13. Andre Ethier had nowhere to go on the drop ball, forced at second, so he's cooling off in the dugout. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 5 hits and an error. Flare to center. In fact, Fowler's there. We were watching Kemp. He's going to have to hold on and go back to first on the second out. So 2 down, and James Loney coming up.
For the Dodgers, first baseman, number 7, James Loney.
So James Loney, who singled to left field in the second inning, coming up. 3-0 Dodgers. Last time we checked, Florida was leading Arizona. The Giants had already won. They beat the Cardinals 7-3. So Loney, for about a month now, has elevated his average by hitting .313. So all of a sudden he's up there to a .242 batting average. The first about month he hit .170. Loney waiting, 2 out in the inning. Kemp a threat to go. He's 13 out of 14. and time at the plate. Billingsley single to right for Cole, single to right. Carroll couldn't bunt, might just as well have as he swung away, topped the ball slowly to third and had a base hit. Then Ethier hit what might have been a double play ball, and it got under Hamill's glove and went through into center field. Loney swings, doesn't get it. 0-1 to count. For Hamill, of course, accustomed to being bailed out, and he was almost up for his 9th double play, but this one missed his glove. And the Dodgers profit by it and lead 3-0. 0-1 to count. The strike one pitch. There goes Kemp. Got a good jump. Ionetta's throw is very late. So for Matt Kemp, running wild. He has stolen 14 out of 17. And Loney now trying to pick him up. For Jason Hamill, who is 6'6", there's a lot going on before he delivers the ball. Consequently, he's pretty tough on a lot of areas, but not in holding runners on. 82% success rate of stealing bases against Jason Hamill. He looks back at Kemp, comes back to Loney, and Loney's going to hit a flare. That's going to drop. Here comes Matt Kemp to score, and the Dodgers lead 4-0. Well, let's face it, everything the Dodgers do right now comes up smelling like a rose. Although that's a distinct different odor for Jim Tracy. So the Dodgers have scored 4 times in the 3rd inning. If you remember yesterday, they scored 4 times twice. They scored 4 in the 3rd inning, and they scored 4 more in the 5th inning. And now they come up with 4 today in the 3rd and lead 4-0. So Loney picks up Kemp, and the batter is Rod Barajas, who is the 8th man to come up in the inning. Hamill ready, in the first pitch high that he tries to hold up and he can't do it, and the count no balls and 1 strike. Both Angel Hernandez and Joe West indicating a swing. Well, you've heard of angels in the outfield. We have angels in the infield today. The first base umpire is Angel Hernandez. The second base umpire is Angel Campos. Strike 1 pitch, swung on and popped foul off to the right, back into the stands, and 0-2 the count. For the Rockies, they get right-hander Greg Reynolds up in the shadows of the bullpen. Hamill has now made 70 pitches. So there's Greg tuning up. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. Oh, and 2 the count. Hamill very deliberate, taking a look at Loney. Now he's ready, and Jason deals. Barajas swings and lifts one to the left side. It'll be Troy Tulowitzki backing on the rim, and one hands it for the out. So the Dodgers come up with 4 runs. They come up with 5 hits, and at the end of 3, lead 4-0. by Jack in the Box. Get the new Bourbon Barbecue Steak Grilled Sandwich at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. Fourth inning with the Dodgers parlaying some key base hits and a little luck and lead the Rockies 4-0. And in the fourth inning, it'll be Helton, Smith coming up in that order if anybody gets on Chris Iannetta. So Billingsley, who started the onslaught with a base hit to right, now goes to work leading 4-0. One ball and no strikes. Helton singled to center in the second inning. Rockies hitting at a sink. 5 hits, nothing to show for it. 2-0 the count to Todd Helton. We told you we're out trying to get in the way of the ball game. We'd drop in a couple of notes about Memorial Day when it first started. That's ball 3. We told you that General John Logan first observed May 30th, 1868, when flowers were placed on the graves of Union and Confederate soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. That's ball 4 to Todd Helton. The first state to officially recognize the holiday was New York State in 1873. By 1890, it was recognized by all of the northern states. The South refused to acknowledge the day, honoring their dead on separate days until after World War I. So here's Seth Smith, single to left field in the second inning, 1 for 1, and ball 1. Dodgers 4, Rockies nothing, fourth inning. Ground ball to the right side. Carroll for call. Loney. So 2 out in the fourth inning. And that'll bring up Ty Wigginton. So Jamie, who played a lot of shortstop, now starts the double play as a second baseman. And the hitter Wigginton struck out in the second inning. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Rockies. That was the high throw by Eric Young in the first inning. And a high fly ball into deep left center field, back to the wall, and watching it go out is Jay Gibbons. So Wigginton gets the Rockies on the board as he hits a home run. For Ty, his 4th home run of the year, and for Billingsley, the 4th home run that he has allowed.
Catcher number 20, Chris Iannetta.
So 4-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Wigginton unloading into left center. And the batter, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, Chris Iannetta, with the pitcher, Jason Hamill, due up next. Wigginton getting 5s in the dugout. First pitch to the screen, ball 1. Iannetta hitting .244, 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. That's ball 2. 2-0 the count. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 6 hits for the Rockies. 2-1. Rockies had back-to-back hits and a stolen base in the first inning, but Matt Kemp threw Gonzalez out at the plate. They had back-to-back hits in the second inning, and Billingsley then struck out the side. Another strike. Young led off the third inning with a single and stole second and couldn't score. Helton led off the fourth with a walk, and Smith hit into a double play. Then came the home run. 3-2. Arizona leading Florida now 4-2. The D-backs scored 4 in the third inning. Gerardo Parra and Kelly Johnson each hit home runs. The amazing Arizona Diamondbacks, who have won 12 out of 13. Well, that'll do it for Iannetta. Check swing, strike 3. However, 1 run, 1 hit, a home run by Wigginton. The end of 3.5, 4-1 Dodgers. Ticket is brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Try our delicious Baja-style fish tacos with classic Baja or spicy avocado sauce. Only at El Pollo Loco. By Corona. And by Time Warner Cable. Four to 1 in favor of the Dodgers. Bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Aaron Miles followed by Chad Billingsley and then Rafael Furcal. And a strike. One thing that Jason Hamill is doing, or not doing, however you want to put it, he has only made 3 pitches where a hitter swung and missed the ball. Ground ball to Helton and 1 away. So because they are making contact, 26 of the now 72 pitches that he has made, 26 of the 72 have been fouled off. But of course they are pitches. They take something away from him, and it's hurting him. Obviously, he made 32 pitches in the 3rd inning. That means he made 60 pitches in the 2nd and 3rd combined. And Billingsley drives one to left. On his move is Gonzalez, and makes an over-the-shoulder, almost casual catch in left field. So Billingsley, a hack man, single to right and almost reached the seats. He almost reached in right field when he fouled it. So with 2 down, 4th inning, and Rafael Furcal coming up. Billingsley having fun, sheepish grin. James Loney had something to say to him. Here's Furcal, lined out to left, single to right. Shows bunt, takes ball 1. We told you that the South refused to acknowledge Memorial Day, honoring their dead on separate days, until after World War I. The holiday changed from honoring just those who died fighting in the Civil War to honoring Americans who died fighting in any war. 1-2 the count. Now Memorial Day is now celebrated in almost every state on the last Monday in May. That was passed by Congress with the National Holiday Act of 1971. That ensured a 3-day weekend for federal holidays. But several southern states still have additional separate days for honoring the Confederate dead. It's January in Texas, April in a lot of the other southern states, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, May 10 in South Carolina, and June 3rd, which happens to be Jefferson Davis's birthday, in Louisiana and Tennessee. 3-2 the count to Rafael for call. 2 out, 4th inning on this Memorial Day, and the Dodgers lead the Rockies 4-1. Ground ball to the hole, diving try, but it's by Young into right field. So for call, coming off a big day yesterday with 2 singles and a home run, comes right back with 2 hits. There's Young's effort, and it just eludes it. And for call aboard, 2 for 3. 7 hits and 4 runs now against Jason Hamill. And here's Jamie Carroll, who had the biggest hit and the littlest hit at the same time. That was that swinging bunt. By the way, it's a very technical thing unless you really want to keep track of what's going on. Remember the fly ball when Gonzalez and Fowler touched gloves and the ball dropped, but they did wind up getting a force play at second base on Ethier, who really didn't have anywhere to go. Tagging up on the fly ball to score, they have now said it will be a scoring fly ball. Originally they called it a fielder's choice. So even if the ball had been caught by either man, the run would have scored. So Matt will get the ribby. There goes for call. Ionetta's throw is there to wait for him. Good throw by Chris. For call is erased, and the Dodgers turned away in the 4th. But at the end of 4, they lead 4-1. Colorado 4-1. We can tell you Arizona is leading Florida 5-4 in the 5th inning. They've knocked out the starter Chris Volstad. Gabby Sanchez, however, came back with a 2-run home run to tighten it up. Arizona 5, Florida 4 in the 5th inning. 4-1 Dodgers here in the 5th. Hamill, Young, and Fowler. Foul back. The Sun field, as it always is, right field. Rest of the ballpark in shade. Lights have been on for over an inning. 0-2. Almost got him. 1-2 the count. And a line drive base hit into left field. So Hamill leads off with a single to left. Each side with 7 hits, but the Dodgers lead 4-1. Time now for a trivia question, appropriately enough on this Memorial Day. Which U.S. Navy veteran of the D-Day invasion has won more World Series, 10, than any player ever? Well, put your thinking cap on for that one. Young has struck out and singled, and a strike. 0-1. One thing I don't see anymore, and I used to see it from childhood on Memorial Day, were the red poppies. 1-1 the count. Red poppies were sold by the American Legion, veteran of foreign wars, in honor of those who died serving the nation during the war. One and one the count. 2-1 the count. Billingsley has allowed 7 hits. He's also walked a batter. He's given up a stolen base, but he's leading. That's a high strike, and Young can't believe it. 2-2. Three and two. Billingsley's pitch count in the high 60s. Young's about 5'10", and down he goes for the second time.
Center fielder Dexter Fowler.
6 strikeouts for Chad Billingsley. For the Rockies, has to be a little maddening for Jim Tracy in the sense they had their leadoff man on in the 2nd inning, their leadoff man on in the 3rd inning. He's gotten his leadoff man on in the 4th inning, and he's gotten his leadoff man on in the 5th inning. And he has 1 run, and that came on a home run with 2 out. And a strike to Fowler. Grounded out, struck out, 0 for 2. Crack bat, little ground ball. Billingsley can't get it, but Loney does and turns it into a force play. So Fowler hits into the force play, 3-6, erasing Hamill.
Coming to the plate, left fielder,
and the batter will be Carlos Gonzalez. We also upheld here today, and we did it to help re-educate, remind Americans of the true meaning of Memorial Day, the National Moment of Remembrance. That was a resolution passed 11 years ago in December, asking that at 3 p.m. local time for all Americans to voluntarily, informally observe in their own way a moment of silence and respect, pausing from whatever they're doing and listening to taps. And we did that here at 3 o'clock. Is there ever a more heartbreaking musical sound ever created then the lonely trumpet and taps. One ball and no strikes, they count. Gonzalez single, stole second, thrown out at the plate, and grounded out. One ball and no strikes. Crack bat, I think. Foul ball. Sounded a little funny, but I guess it's okay. 1-1 the count to Carlos Gonzalez. Dexter Fowler at first with 2 out. Fowler has stolen 2, but he's been caught 6 times, so obviously he has had a lot of trouble trying to get a jump on a pitcher. 1-1 to Gonzalez. Squirted wide of third. In fact, coming over is for call, but no play. As soon as Miles couldn't make it, there was no play. So Gonzalez will take that. Single to the hole at short, his second hit. And all of a sudden, very quietly, Troy Tulowitzki comes up with 2 on, representing the tying run. Tulowitzki singled to center in the first inning, and Gonzalez was thrown out at the plate. And then last time up, he grounded out. Tulo, 11 home runs, 31 runs batted in. He hit for the cycle 2 years ago, and that's a strike. Tulowitzki, not as big as Todd Helton's contract. Nevertheless, he signed a 10-year deal for about $157 million. 0-1. Breaking ball, but that one missed. So 2 curves in a row, 1 ball and 1 strike. Biggest challenge right now for Chad Billingsley. Tulowitzki coming into the game was hitting only in the 200s against Billingsley. He had 1 home run in the past. Troy from Sunnyvale in California, went to school at Long Beach State. First round pick by the Rockies back in 2005. 2-1. So after a couple of breaking balls, he fouls off the fastball at 88. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Dodgers lead the Rockies 4-1 in the 5th inning on Memorial Day. Dexter Fowler at second. Carlos Gonzalez at first. 2-2 to Tulo. Hitting back of him, Todd Helton. In the dirt, nice block by Barajas. New ball put in play, and we have a full count with 2 down. So Fowler and Gonzalez will be on the move. Rockies coming into this game had lost 8 of 10. They had lost 5 of 7 at home, and they've lost 9 of 11 on the road. 3-2. Tulo backs out. The caps issued by Major League Baseball on this day of remembrance. Red for the visitors, navy blue for the home clubs. Runners ready to go, and a breaking ball is popped up into shallow right, going out and coming in, and there's Ethier, and that's that. So the Rockies let another chance go by. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. It's still 4-1 Dodgers. Fifth inning on this Memorial Day, with Carroll, Ethier, and Kemp coming up in that order. And that's ball one. At the end of this half inning, we will do something that we normally don't do. Normally at the end of 5 we come on and tell you about this day in baseball history or this day in Dodger history. Meanwhile, Carroll bangs one down the right field line. It's in play, and he's going to go for 3, and he will be in there without a play. But Jamie Carroll triples into the right field corner to start matters off in the bottom of the 5th inning, with the Dodgers leading 4-1. For the Dodgers, their 8th hit. The throw coming back to the infield was never handled, so he didn't have to go on a belly whop. Neither did Tim Wallach know to tell him, because it looked like there might be a play, but it was not forthcoming. So Jamie triples into the corner, and now Ethier, Kemp, and Ibbins trying to pick him up. 4-1 Dodgers, 5th inning, nobody out. At the end of the inning, we'll read 2 of the 3 stanzas from one of the great war poems. It was called In Flanders Field. That's going to be a strike, 0-1. During the second battle of Wipers, a Canadian artillery officer was killed, and his friend was a doctor who was going to conduct the funeral services since the chaplain was away. And so the friend decided he would write a poem entitled In Flanders Field. And that poem has pretty much summed up the feelings ever since World War I. And it would be appropriate to read it or hear it today. And again, we don't want to get in the way of the game, but to me, and I'm sure to you, this is such a day to be revered. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andre Ethier. 1-2. Ethier came up in the 3rd inning, a huge play, bases low, nobody out, and he hit one right back to the box to the gloved side of Hamill, and somehow Jason was unable to glove it. If he does, the whole game could be very different. Ground ball up the middle. Well, it is 5-1 Dodgers as Ethier picks him up, and for Andre, he has 3 RBIs today. So Carroll triples, Ethier cashes him in, and the Dodgers 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 run, 8 hits for the Rockies. And let's see, Bob Apodaca going out to the mound again to talk to Jason Hamill. So the Dodgers 5 runs on 9 hits. They have 1 extra base hit. That was Carroll's triple. For the Rockies, 1 run, 8 hits. They have 1 extra base hit. That was Williamson's home run. Matt Daly, a right-hander, is throwing in the bullpen, but he continues to throw. Matt Kemp will be coming up. Nobody out, a run in. Dodgers scored 4 in the 3rd. They picked up 1 more here. The Rockies run came in the 4th. Matt with a scoring fly ball and lined out to second. 0-1. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the 3-game series, and the Dodgers will send Ted Lilly to the mound against Clayton Mortensen. And then Wednesday night, the final game of the homestand, John Garland will go against Ubaldo Jimenez, who is 0-5. And 2. For the Rockies, some of their problems they can't figure out. why Gonzalez is hitting in the 250s, why Tulowitzki is hitting in the 240s, why Ubaldo Jimenez is 0-5. But those are the facts. No balls and 2 strikes to Matt Kemp. Kemp is not only hitting .312, he has 12 home runs and 14 stolen bases. One ball and 2 strikes. And that's lifted. Back of second base comes Young, over near the foul line now to make the catch. So Ethier has to hold it first, and we have 1 out here in the 5th inning. And it's time to answer that trivia question. Which U.S. Navy veteran of the D-Day invasion, June 6, 1944, has won more World Series 10 than any player ever? Yogi Berra. Did you know that? Yep. Yogi turned 86 May the 12th, Hall of Famer. 17 full years with the Yankees. He played in 14 World Series, winning 10 of the 14. Bad luck for the Dodgers because 7 of the 14 World Series were against the Dodgers, and the Yankees won 5 of the 7. The Dodgers won the World Series in Brooklyn in 1955. And they swept the Yankees here in 4 in 1963. 0-1 to Gibbons. He struck out, flied to center. We have 1 out, 5th inning. Dodgers lead 5-1. Another foul ball, 0-2. So that really points up the numbers that we were giving you about Hamill. No one swings and misses against him. And that's tough. You can't put a hitter away. And if you do, it usually takes more than 3 pitches to strike him out. He has 1 strikeout, and it's Gibbons. 0-2 the count. This will be pitch number 94, and we're only in the 5th inning. And it's popped foul. Iannetta will not have a play. That must be maddening if you're the pitcher and you can't get the ball by a hitter. It's all right, I guess. If you, what do they say in this day and age? You pitch to contact, but he could write a book on pitching to contact. The hitters today have swung and missed against Jason on 3 pitches, and there have been 33 foul balls. 0-2. There he goes again. No balls and 2 strikes. And of course, for Jason Hamill, he has certainly been a reasonably successful major league pitcher. He won 10 games in 2009, and he won 10 games in 2010 the hard way. Another thing, he's always pitching out of the stretch, always allowing more hits than innings pitched each of the last 2 years. And for Jason coming into this game, he now has given up more hits than innings pitched. And for Jay Gibbon, he becomes the 2nd strikeout for Hamill. And for Jay, he goes down twice. Big breaking ball, and he's done. So James Loney coming up. So remember, we are not going to give you this day in baseball history. We're not going to give you this day in Dodger history. This is too much of a big day for that. So we will beg your acceptance on the 3rd out. We will just briefly, in 20 some odd seconds, read 2 of the 3 paragraphs of the famous World War I poem, In Flanders Field. got all of that. Another contact, and this time another home run. And the Dodgers lead 7-1 as James hits it out for Loney, his third home run. And he's 3 for 3 today. So for the Rockies, at least for today, Hamill is not the answer. Seven runs and 10 hits on the heels of yesterday's performance, where the Dodgers scored 8 times on 17 hits. And James really all over that one. So Loney hits the first pitch for the home run. The Dodgers lead 7-1, and that's ball 1 to Rod Barajas, who fouled out and popped up. Jeff Pentland, the hitting coach, came over to give him a fist-to-fist tap. Teacher talking to the pupil. 1-1 the count to Rod Barajas. Now Rafael Furcal over to congratulate him. 2-1 the count. Ball 3. Tough time of day at 7 o'clock. Can't say that was a purpose pitch, but it was enough to move Barajas out of there in a hurry. 3-1 the count. And high for ball 4. So Aaron Miles, who fly to center, grounded out. And I believe that will be it for Jason Hamill. Yep. Jim Tracy has taken just so much for so long. Dodgers scored 4 in the 3rd, 3 more in the 5th. Hamill is history, and we'll be back. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And by QuickRead. For affordable home improvement projects, visit QuickRead.com. QuickRead, it's what America's made of. Dodgers breezing 7-1 on this gorgeous day. Although for Jason Hamill, anything but. He was roundly pummeled for 10 hits, 7 earned runs. He did strike out 2, but that was Jay Gibbons twice, but could not get a ball past the hitter. Plain and simple. So Matt Daly will pick up after 102 pitches made by Jason Hamill. Matt's out of Queens, New York. Signed out of Bucknell. He's 6'2", 175. He'll be 29 in June. When he was a high school freshman, he was only 5'1", and he weighed 95 pounds. But he had that growth spurt. Now he's 6'2". Fastball strike to Miles. Fly to center, grounded out. In the inning, Carroll tripled to right. Ethier singled him home, and James Loney buried one into the right field pavilion. 2 out, 5th inning. And a fly ball to right field. It's playable, and on this Memorial Day, it's 7-1 Dodgers, and we'll be quiet. Felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders field. And there was another poem written in reply to that one. We cherish, too, the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies. Now back to the small world of baseball. 6th inning, 7-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Helton, Smith, and Wigginton. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 8 hits for the Rockies. And that's going to the hole and through into left field. So Todd Helton continues to be the solid ball player that he has always been. Perfect day, 2 singles and a walk. What a magnificent career. What a wonderful ball player. And the batter now, Seth Smith. Seth singled to left and then hit into a double play. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run and 9 hits for the Rockies. If they get down to Daly's spot, of course, they will hit for him, trying to dig out from under the debris. Greg Reynolds is throwing in the bullpen. That's fouled away. 0-1 the count. Seth hitting .306, 5 home runs, 22 runs batted in. And popped up around the bag at second. It's for call. So 1 away with Helton at first. Wigginton coming up. You know, you can take the Dodgers with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.TV today. See every Dodger game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Dodgers.com to order and get more detail. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. And with 1 out, Wigginton struck out and homered. He homered on the heels of a double play. So Rockies got their only run out of it. 1 ball and no strikes. Jerry Sands in left field for the Dodgers. There's Jerry taking over for Jay Gibbons. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Billingsley trying to even up his books. He is 3-4. He's also 0-1 this year against the Rockies. Ball 2. We pointed it out before how frustrating it's been for Jim Tracy, not just to get beaten, but the idea of getting that leadoff man on base. They've had the leadoff man on base now 5 straight innings, and they haven't done a thing with it. Right. 2-2. Helton singled in the second. Young singled in the third. Helton walked in the fourth. Hamill singled in the fifth. Helton singles in the sixth. The only thing was the home run by Wigginton with 2 out. Billingsley, who has pitched so well in this ballpark and yet really nothing to show for it. Earned run average coming in 1.8, and the opposition hitting 164. Fastball on the corner. So Wigginton caught looking. Down he goes, striking out a second time. That's 7 strikeouts for Chad Billingsley. And the batter will be Chris Iannetta. Wigginton looks out at Billingsley on that third strike. He said, "Say, how could you throw that pitch to me?" I guess he was looking for anything but. Iannetta has struck out twice. Ball 1. Chris Nelson, just recently called up, an infielder, is out on deck. And that's lifted down the right field line. Ethier settling under it, and that's the 3rd out. No runs, 1 hit, a man left at the end of 5.5, 7-1 Dodgers. To the plate, Matt Kemp's throw to Rod Barajas, who makes a fine diving tag on Cargo, and the Dodgers close out the inning without giving up a run. A wonderful defensive play. You know what amazes me? Today, outfielders do not take fly balls and throw to the bases like they used to do. So that means in the first inning, Matt Kemp goes to his position. Outside of playing catch maybe with the ball boy or the left fielder, how in the world can you be ready? And yet, on the base hit, I mean, he threw a line drive to Barajas on the fly. So that to me was as startling as the play itself. But again, they're big league outfielders and they are blessed. Meanwhile, Greg Reynolds will come in as part of a double switch with Chris Nelson taking over at third base. For Chad Billingsley, he has now worked 6 innings. He has made 92 pitches. It's been Hamill, Daly, and now Reynolds. I would guess in the 7th inning, we'll really have to wait and see, but you would expect Nelson to bat 9th playing third, Reynolds to go into Wigginton's spot. We'll wait till we get the official word. And here's a very happy Chad Billingsley. Singled, flied out. He has struck out a bunch, 7, and he's leading comfortably 7-1. And a strike. Reynolds picking up the pieces. Fouled away. Chris Reynolds out of Pacifica. He went to Stanford. He was a #1 pick in 2006. High slicing drive into right center, but very playable. In fact, Seth Smith thought the ball was hit harder than it was. Started back and then came in. A reminder, Don Mattingly bobblehead night. That's Wednesday. The Dodgers and Rockies. Compliments of Carl's Jr. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. One away in the 6th inning. Rafael Furcal lined out to left and twice single to right. So that means he's had 5 hits in the last 2 games. Ball 1. Reynolds out there on the mound is even bigger than Jason Hamill. Jason Hamill 6'6". Reynolds is listed at 6'7". 2-0. Greg 6'7", 230. He'll be 26 in July. He had been selected by the Phillies, but he turned that down, accepting the scholarship to Stanford. As big as he is, his senior year at Terra Nova High School in Pacifica, he was an outstanding quarterback. And so Rafael gets aboard for the 3rd time as he draws a walk. And Jamie Carroll coming up.
Dodgers second baseman number 14.
Carroll had the swinging bunt. That was when he was up there to bunt, couldn't do it. Swung from the heels and hit a 40-foot dribbler up along third base. Legged it out for a base hit to load the bases. And then Ethier hit that ball just under Hamill's glove. Instead of a double play, it went through and the Dodgers were off to the races. That's a strike. 0-1. For Reynolds, he learned an important lesson at Stanford. You can't just rear back and throw as hard as you can. He figured he had to do something else. And he made a big change so that he was the ace of the Cardinal staff. And he had 4 games that included 3 consecutive complete games against Arizona State, California, and Washington. And when he beat Washington, the losing pitcher for Washington was Tim Lincecum. When he was at Stanford, he worked on a degree of economics and public policy. Well, he has a pretty good sinker. Apparently that got him here. Fouled away. Reynolds signed for a huge bonus. It was over $3 million. So they really have a lot invested in him. Grew up a Giants fan. His favorite was Jason Schmidt. Basically, fastball plus the sinker, good hard curve, and a changeup. 0-2 in there. So Jamie caught looking. Down he goes. And the batter now will be Andre Ethier. Andre Ethier popped up in the first inning, but he singled up the middle just under Hamill's glove to produce 2 runs batted in, and then he singled again to cash in Jamie Carroll. So he is 2 for 3, 3 runs batted in as the Dodgers lead 7-1. That's a strike, and the count 0-1. Tough day for Jim Tracy and for the Rockies. Big day for the Dodgers, leading 7-1. Making the trip with Colorado is their owner, chairman, and chief executive officer, Richard Monfort. So it's a tough day for him as well. All part of this great game. 0-1 the count. One and one. Andre Ethier, overall batting average .332. He has 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in, but he has just been downright rough on right-handers. He's hitting better than .385 against right-hand pitching. Ball 2, 2-1. Greg made his debut May the 11th, 2008. That was after a little more than a year after he had been drafted by the Rockies. So that would be the quickest any pitcher in the history of the franchise had gotten to the big leagues. Pitcher, that is. Lifted to left field. Gonzalez coming over for it. Picks it off. So for the big, tall right-hander Greg Reynolds, no runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left. And at the end of 6, 7-1 Dodgers. 7-1 as we go to the 7th inning. Chad Billingsley will be facing Eric Young, hitting second, and we do get the positive answer. Chris Nelson is batting 9th, and he will lead off. Billingsley still under 100, ready to go to work. When Chris Nelson came up last year in a thrilling game against the Cincinnati Reds, he stole home, and it was the winning run. He's out of Decatur, Georgia. He was a #1 pick, 2004. Came up for 17 games and electrified everybody with the steal of home. 1-1. Good fastball. Billingsley at 91, just breezing along. He's made 95 pitches now. And one hopper into center. So again, I mean, it's got to be maddening for Jim Tracy. 6 consecutive innings, Jim's leadoff man has gotten on base, and they haven't done a thing for him after that. Billingsley has allowed 1 run and 10 hits. Meanwhile, with all of that, we told you the Giants won. The Diamondbacks are using a word they used to use years ago. They're unconscious right now. They're on their way to winning 13 out of 14. Arizona has hit 5 home runs today. That's fouled away. Justin Upton has 5 hits, including a home run. Arizona is now leading Florida 11-4 as they try to just keep on rolling. Oh, and 1. Little roller. They'll get the front man, and that's all. Force play 4-6, and the batter will be Dexter Fowler.
Center fielder number 24, Dexter Fowler.
So Chris Nelson just called up, gets a base hit, does a good job of breaking up the double play. We were talking earlier about the fact that base runners are very successful against Jason Hamill. 82% success rate. That was brought up when Matt Kemp stole a base. And easy fly ball that drops in. And the batter now, Carlos Gonzalez. So that's 11 hits and 1 run for the Rockies. In the Dodger bullpen, Guerrier and Elbert. And we're coming up to 100 pitches for Chad Billingsley. And hold everything, timeout. Just as he's ready for 100, they'll have a little meeting at the mound. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. 1 run, 11 hits, and 1 error for the Rockies. So Rick Honeycutt, I think, first question. Still got some gas in the tank. Big boys coming up: Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, and Helton. So Chad's going to stay in there. Looking back at Billingsley's work so far this year and his pitch count, as he has just made 99 pitches so far. His last game he made 100 in Houston. His high this year 119 against Arizona. He also had 1 game 118 pitches against the Cardinals. So here's Cargo. singled twice, 2 for 3, and ball 1. Gonzalez singled to center in the first inning, stole second, tried to score on a base hit by Troy Tulowitzki, and Matt Kemp hung him out to dry. 1 ball and no strikes. Gonzalez hitting .263. Ball 2. Andre Ethier deep in right field against Gonzalez. Young at second, Fowler at first. And a 3-0 count as Billingsley now has gone over the 100 pitch mark, 102 to be exact. (3-0). Would they let Gonzalez swing? We'll find out. Strike, 3-1. Young and Fowler both run very well. 1 away, 3-1 the count. And ball 4. And the bases are loaded. Billingsley obviously struggling a little bit. Mattingly exercising a little extra patience. Tell you why, without getting statistically crazy, in the 8th and 9th innings this year, just those 2 innings, the Dodgers have scored 25 runs. In those same 2 innings, 8th and 9th, the opposition has scored 68 runs. So the base is loaded, and here's Tulo with 1 out. Single to center, grounded to second, fly to right. And a strike. Tulowitzki has 2 grand slams. Hit 1 against Arizona, and he hit 1 against San Diego. He hasn't had one, however, since 2008. Fouled away. 0-2 to count. Tulowitzki from the 7th inning on, and he's always been a clutch ball player. However, this year he's hitting 145 in the 7th inning or later. And after hitting just under 300 in April, he's hitting under 200 in May. It shows you just what a tough game this really is. 0-2. Ball 1. Pitch count now up to 107. You have Eric Young at third, Dexter Fowler at second, Carlos Gonzalez at first. One and two the count. For Mattingly and for Honeycutt, even though they've had a very comfortable lead since the 3rd inning when they led 4-0. Nevertheless, it can be uncomfortable with one swing of the bat here. 1-2 to Tulowitzki. And ground ball to Furcal to the bag for 1. Gets him at first. Double play. So Billingsley comes up in the clutch to get a tough hitter for the D-backs. They're sitting comfortably in Arizona, and Colorado is struggling on their heels. Right now, in special recognition of the military, USAA now presents the singing of God Bless America.
Of God Bless America, accompanied by Nancy B. And doing the honors, please welcome back Sergeant First Class Gigi Theocarides.
God bless America, land
First Class Gigi Theocarides. Now, fans, it's time for the
pitching a very tough game, has allowed 11 hits, but the one thing that has saved him is the fact he has only walked 2. So even though he's allowed the leadoff man to get on base 6 consecutive innings, the only run was following a double play when Ty Wigginton hit a home run. So Rod Barajas sitting shoulder to shoulder with Chad, and meanwhile into the bottom of the 7th with Matt Kemp. Billingsley right now, as he sits comfortably in the dugout, has made 108 pitches. One and one to Matt. Kemp lined out, then in the 3rd inning hit a fly ball to left center. Dexter Fowler and Carlos Gonzalez went glove to glove. It went off Carlos's glove. Ethier was running at first, didn't quite know what to do. Fowler picked up the ball and forced Ethier, and while all that was going on, the Dodgers scored the extra run. So Fowler actually got an assist, and they got a force play at second base out of it, and Matt Kemp had a scoring fly ball. Last time up, Matt popped up, hitting .310, 12 home runs, 36 RBIs, picked up his 14th stolen base in the 3rd inning. And that's a strike, and down he goes. So Kemp is looking one away in the 7th inning, and the batter will be Jerry Sands.
Number 47, Jerry Sands.
Matt might have argued on that pitch, but not after being kicked out yesterday. So here is Sands. So Reynolds comes in, tries to restore some order. He has struck out 2. Jerry hitting .214, 2 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Big overhand curveball for a strike. I would think at this hour and your first at bat, Sands has quite a challenge against a 6'7" right-hander. Fastball, and he smokes it to right field, and it's a base hit. So he meets the challenge head on and singles to right. That'll bring up James Loney, who's having a big day. He had 2 singles when he came up in the 5th inning with a man aboard and crushed one into the pavilion against Jason Hamels. So the Dodgers, after offensively starving because of so many injuries and all their other problems, right now in 2 games have scored 15 runs and have 28 hits. Loney 3 for 3. As noisy as the first 6 hitters have been, and Sands almost nailed. The bottom 3, 1 hit amongst them, and that's the single by Billingsley. But the heavy duty has been right through the area you might expect. For COL, 2 hits and a walk. Carroll, single and a triple. Ethier, 2 singles and 3 RBIs. Of course, you have Loney's 3 hits, including a 2-run home run. Two and 0. Reynolds 2 and 0. ERA over 4.5. He's given up 1 home run. Pretty good fastball for a strike at 91. Greg Reynolds, with a huge investment in him, and the Rockies are hoping they'll bring him along slowly, and he will certainly blossom into what the field he can become. 2 and 1. They have another Reynolds with the Rockies, Matt Reynolds. Well, this is the big boy at 6'7". Of course, Matt's not too bad. He's 6'5". Jason Hamill's 6'6". 3 and 1. 3 and 2. 6'7", 230. 25 years old. Loney staying alive, fouling it off, still 3 and 2. Game 2 of the 3-game series, and will be tomorrow night. Regular time at 7:10. Clayton Mortensen and Ted Lilly. That will be on KCAL. And then Wednesday night, Ubaldo Jimenez and John Garland back on Prime. 1 out, 3 and 2. Sands at first. They're not holding him. And Loney lifts a fly ball to right. Seth Smith is there looking up into that powder blue. Then we have 2 down. And that'll bring up Rod Barajas. Barajas fouled out, popped up, and walked. 0 for 2. Down in the Dodger bullpen, left-hander Scott Elbert begins to loosen up. You have Miles on deck, and then Billingsley is due up. We'll see. Chad bundled up, sitting back comfortably. Barajas batting .221, 7 home runs, 15 runs batted in. And a strike. .711 for the Dodgers, 111 for the Rockies. That's a strike. 0 and 2. big overhand dirty curveball, and down goes Barajas. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. Billingsley saying good night to everybody. Dodgers lead 7-1. Inning, Scott Elbert will pick up for Chad Billingsley, who had a great 7 innings. He allowed 1 earned run, so he'll actually reduce his earned run average at home. It was 1.8. He did owe a lot of hits, 11 hits, and he let the leadoff man get on 6 straight innings, but he just sailed along anyway. Now, he got 7 runs tonight. He had just 1 run in his last 4 home starts. His first home start, the Dodgers got him 4. So in his starts at home this year, he has a total of 5 runs given up by the opposition until the Dodgers had the windfall of 7 today. Talking about a windfall, they're in the 7th inning in Arizona, and Arizona leading Florida by the gills. 15-4. So here's Scott Elbert. He'll be facing Helton, Smith, and then the pitcher, Greg Reynolds. So they'll get somebody up down in the pen. That's a strike. 0-1. Helton bidding for a perfect day in what has been an imperfect day for Colorado. Single to center, walk, single to left. And is he something? So Helton goes 3 for 3 with a walk. And there it is again, the headache that Jim Tracy will have for the remainder of the evening. Why in the world do we get the leadoff man on and we can't do anything? 7 consecutive innings. The Rockies have gotten the leadoff man on base, and it has produced nothing. The only run was a 2-out home run by Ty Willington. And that would give gray hairs to any manager. So here's Smith, single to left, hit into a double play and popped up. Seth 1 for 3. Ryan Spilborghs comes out on deck. So the man from Ole Miss, Seth Smith, at the plate. Seth 6'3", 225. He was one of Eli Manning's backup quarterbacks for 3 years at Ole Miss. Just like Todd Helton was the backup quarterback to Peyton Manning. Seth was picked by Arizona, but the 48th round, and he said no thanks. He went to Ole Miss and became the 2nd round pick for the Rockies. For Seth, his first RBI in a major league game not only came in the pressure of a postseason game, his 2-out 2-run pinch hit double in game 4 of the NLCS against Arizona gave the Rockies the Rockies the lead in that game. That was 2007. Great way to break in. So now first and second, nobody out against Elbert. Ryan Spilborgh's coming up. You know, the last chance to receive the Dodgers Ultimate Giveaway plan is Wednesday. You enjoy 8 games and 10 giveaways, 5 remaining bobbleheads, 2 fleece blankets, a Dodger sports bag, beach towel, and purple and gold LA cap. That starts at $12 a seat per game. For more information, call 323-224-1365 or go to Dodgers.com/mini-plan. Matt Guerrier is going to come in from the bullpen as Elbert, brought in to face left-handers, gives up a single and a walk, and we'll be back. Dodgers leading 7-1, but only the second time today. We've talked about the fact that the Rockies have gotten the leadoff man on in 7 straight innings, but only twice did the next hitter get on following the leadoff man. That was in the 2nd inning and now here in the 8th. And Matt Guerrier will face the veteran Ryan Spilborghs, hitting .261, 2 home runs, 13 runs batted in, 0-1. Ryan is from Santa Barbara, went to UC Santa Barbara. He went after that first pitch because I know at one time he was hitting .468 putting that first pitch in play. Late on the fastball, 0-2. Ryan Spilborghs, coming off the bench, has produced 4 pinch hits, including a home run, and 4 runs batted in. Well, the Rockies had a golden chance in the 7th inning. They had the bases loaded, 1 out, and Tulowitzki hit into a double play. 1-2. Seven runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers, who've been out hit. The Rockies have 1 run, 12 hits. Hilton at second, Smith at first, nobody out. On deck, Chris Iannetta, the catcher. Fastball hit down to short. They're going to get 1. They will easily get 2. So the Rockies continue to torment themselves. They ground into 3 double plays, and that slows down everything in the 8th inning. And for Jim, one of those things, drive carefully going home. Hilton at third, 2 out in the 8th inning, and here's Iannetta. The catcher has struck out twice, flied out, 0 for 3. Hitting .241. Good fastball. That was 94. Iannetta, with 2 strikeouts today, has struck out 42 times. One and one. The leader, however, on the Rockies would be their center fielder, Dexter Fowler. Struck out once today. Fowler has struck out 61 times. And he is not a power hitter at all. No home runs. 1 and 1. And that's popped up and out of play. 1 and 2. Dodgers scored 4 in the third, 3 in the fifth. The Rockies had Wigginton hit a home run in the fourth, and that's it. Down in the bullpen, Matt Belisle has been warming up. 1 and 2. 2 and 2. Matt Guerrier trying to close up shop. Guerrier with an ERA of 3. He's 2 and 3 with the league. 26 games. Two and 2. 3 and 2. Hilton with 3 hits and a walk, standing at third. Waiting on deck to bat, Chris Nelson, who singled in his first at bat in the 7th inning. The paid attendance 36,962. Today they had over 4,000 walk-ups, most this year. Check swing foul, and did that get anybody? No, but it certainly rattled a few cages down there. Spilborghs had to get off the railing in a hurry. And Seth Smith could have wiped out the right fielders on that one foul ball. And yeah, that's where it hit, that close. 3 and 2. Fastball hit foul. Foul ball. So Aaron Miles giving it his best shot, even leading 7-1. 2 out, 8th inning. Chris out of Providence, Rhode Island. Trying to get Helton home from third. 7-1 Dodgers. Billingsley, Elbert briefly, and Guerrier. And ball 4. So the double play really slowed things down. Rockies have had a base hit and a couple of walks. Here's Nelson, who just got into the game in the 7th inning and singled to center. So the Georgia boy at the plate. Right, 0-1. Mortensen and Lilly tomorrow night at 7:10. Jimenez and Garland Wednesday night at 7:10. Tomorrow night on KCAL 9, Wednesday night on Prime Ticket. And that's lifted back at first down the line. A trio of Dodgers, and it will be none of the 3. 0-2 the count. Ethier, Carroll, and Loney all going back to their positions, and Guerrier still looking for that third out. In the inning, Helton singled, Smith walked, Spilborghs came off the bench, hit into a double play, Ionetta walked, and here's Nelson. So Helton still there at third, Ionetta at first. Oh, 0-2. Foul back. Coming into this game, the Rockies were 12th lowest in grounding into double play. And today, they've grounded into 3. Troy Tulowitzki, alongside his skipper, hit one in the 7th inning. And that's lifted into right center. Ethier coming over. And that'll be that. So again, the leadoff man gets on, and they can't bring him home. They lead 2, and it's still 7-1 Dodgers. And here's how they did it pretty much. COL with a couple of hits scored a run. Carroll a couple of hits with a triple and scored twice. Ethier with 3 RBIs in his singles. Matt Kemp had a scoring fly ball. Sands has only had 1 at bat coming in late in the game. He has a base hit. And Loney having a big day. 2 singles, a 2-run home run, and 3 RBIs. And then at the bottom, Chad Billingsley had a base hit to go 1 for 3 and score a run. Matt Belisle coming in to pick up here in the bottom of the 8th. So it's been Hamill, Daly, Reynolds, and Belisle. Aaron Miles will be followed by Tony Gwynn, as Belisle just tries to get a couple of outs. Matt's out of McAllen, Texas. Behind 2-0 now. He was a 2nd-round pick by the Braves. He lives in the capital at Austin. 6'3", 230. And a strike, 2-1. Aaron Miles hitting .269. Flied to center, flied to right, grounded to first. 2-2. Matt Belisle was a 2nd-round pick, might have been a 1st-round pick, but he tore a knee ligament in his senior year in high school, and that kind of slowed him back a little bit. Matt, among other things, into scuba diving. There's a lake, Lake Travis in Austin, and he went there for his scuba certification. That's going to be slapped. Oh, what a wonderful play by Chris Nelson to take probably a double away from Aaron Miles. So Nelson, who had a base hit his first at bat, a sparkling play, and we have one out in the 8th inning. The big play by the fella from Decatur. And now Tony Gwynn will bat for Guerrier. Javi Guerra down in the Dodger bullpen. Tony hitting just 195. And ball 1. One and all the count. Matt Belisle, who signed with the Braves, first made it to the big leagues with the Reds. Then up and down after a couple of years with Cincinnati, and eventually surfaced with the Reds in 08 and then came over to the Rockies. Slow roller. Helton makes the play. So we have 2 down in the 8th inning, and the batter will be Rafael Furcal.
Shortstop, number 15, Rafael Furcal.
Rafael lined out to left twice, single to right, and walked. Furcal has had good luck in the past against Belisle. He's 5 for 9. That would be a .556 batting average, and not only that, he has 2 home runs against Belisle. That's a strike. Matt basically fastball, curve, and change. 1-1. Little comebacker. Whoa. Well, Belisle makes it a little tough for Helton. Down go the Dodgers, and we're heading for the 9th. 7-1 Dodgers. To 1 in the 9th inning. Javi Guerra trying to get the last 3 outs, which would be Young, Fowler, and Gonzalez. By the way, we've made it a point, because it is rather startling, the fact that for 7 straight innings the Rockies have gotten the leadoff man on, and they have not been able to do anything. And the reason is the leadoff man is 6 for 6 with a walk in those 7 innings. Those following the leadoff men are 4 for 22. So talk about spinning your wheels. That's exactly what's been going on with the Rockies, as Young, Fowler, Gonzalez, and Tulowitzki do up fourth. Remember, game one of the 3-game series, Rockies beat the Dodgers twice in Denver back on April 5th and 6th. So here is EY. Switch hitter hitting left-handed against Javi Guerra. And first pitch, fly ball. Sands started to go back. One away. So at least that eases the pain where a leadoff man fails to get on. And the batter will be Dexter Fowler. Fowler has grounded out, struck out, hit into a force play, and single to left. For the Dodgers, started the day 5.5 back. They're going to stay that way because Arizona pounded Florida, and the Giants did a pretty good number on the Cardinals. Arizona has won 7 straight. Giants snapped a little 2-game losing streak. This will be not only the second consecutive loss for the Rockies, but they're in somewhat of a tailspin. Losing tonight, they will have lost 9 of the last 11. Hard ground ball up the middle. So a 1-out single by Fowler, and the batter will be Gonzalez. And it's amazing, the Dodgers are leading 7-1, and the Rockies have out-hit them 13-11. So here's Gonzalez. Carlos singled, stole second, was thrown out at the plate on an arrow thrown by Matt Kemp in the first inning. Then he grounded out, singled to short, and walked. Ball 1. It's been Billingsley, Elbert, Guerrier, and Guerra. 9th inning, 7-1 Dodgers, with Billingsley going a strong 7. Guerra now behind 2-0. So he made the big jump from Chattanooga, and then Lindblom made the same jump. Dodger bullpen ran thin. Maybe Vicente Padilla will be back, maybe even tomorrow, maybe. But you know, the Dodger bullpen, you lost Jonathan Broxton and Hung-Chi Kuo, Vicente Padilla, Blake Hawksworth. 2-1 to count. Two and two. Following Gonzalez is Troy Tulowitzki. $36,962 spent this part of Memorial Day with us. Hope you have had a safe one, a sound one. Fouled and missed at the plate. Down he goes. First base occupied. No reason to throw down there. So Carlos Gonzalez strikes out. Pitch in the dirt. And the hitter will be Tulowitzki. For the Rockies, the day started off on a rocky start. A 2-out single by Gonzalez. He stole second. Tulowitzki singled sharply to center, and that's the key. Kemp charge, came up and just threw a dart to home plate, and then nailed Gonzalez for the 3rd out. Tulo, since that base hit, grounded out, flied out, came up with the bases loaded in the 7th inning and a chance to maybe get his club back in the game, and he hit no double play to end the inning. 1 ball and no strikes. One thing for the Rockies, although it's certainly not a consolation, they're not going to lose this one by 1 run. Their record in 1-run games, they've won 6, but they've lost 12. So Jim's had his problems after that great start. Remember when Colorado opened up the year going 11-2? That's by the diving Carroll. Fowler with those daddy long legs just breezes into third. And Tulowitzki comes up with his second hit. And the batter will be Todd Helton, bidding for yet another hit. The Rockies have 14 hits and 1 run. Helton has 3 singles and a walk, hitting .318. Tulowitzki is going to go to second on ball 1. Defensive indifference, no stolen base. Seven runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 14 hits for the Rockies. 2-0. Billingsley, Elbert, Guerrier, and Guerra. Ted Lilly tomorrow night. John Garland Wednesday night. And then the Dodgers go out on a long road trip. Anytime you have a 3-city trip, they go to Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and 4 with Colorado. Rockies, by the way, with their 14 hits, have left 11. And they are 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So Helton with first base open and 3-0 count. That's right. Hitting back of Helton, another left-hand hitter, Seth Smith. And a fly ball to left center. Sands going back on the ball. He's there now. And that will do it. So for good measure, the Rockies lead 2 more and left 13 on base. As the Dodgers 7 runs, 11 hits. The Rockies 1 run, 14 hits, and 1 error. Chad Billingsley is the winning pitcher. Jason Hamill is the losing pitcher. And remember, tomorrow night at 7:10, that will be Ted Lilly going to the hill on KCAL 9. Stay tuned now for Dodgers Live. It's coming up next. Good night, everybody.